I used to do conventions back in the 80s, and it's laid idle on my computer. And I managed to download it via... I got one of those programs that you... From this little iPad, I hacked into my own computer. Isn't that brilliant? So we do it to all your computers now. Now, there may be some words in it which are particularly English, and I don't know whether they're words you understand. Words like anorak, does that mean anything here? Yeah. Calling fans anoraks? Is that, yeah. That's the expression we use in England. So forgive me if there are some allusions that you don't quite get. But the poem is called It's All Geek to Me.
That I understand.
Turn your face to the wall, dear. Let the anorak pass. He belongs to a furtive and lowly subclass. My penchant's exposed, so I'll shout out with pride my love for a genre that won't be denied. I confess to a monstrous affliction, a contemptible urge, a pervasive addiction to a literary form that has no restriction. I'll whisper it gently. It's called science fiction. I first gained a glimpse of worlds other than mine in a book from the library. I must have been 9. At a Lancashire school, I was under the cosh. I came from the south and they thought I was posh. Books were my friends, my quiet consolation, but one sparked a light to my imagination. A story of hope I've remembered forever. Into the Happy Glade by Alison Trevor. Its message was simple. It told of the meek inheriting the earth, although they were weak. Animals displaced by man's need to expand. The hedgehogs and squirrels and woodpeckers planned with all other species to leave their old wood and find a new haven for everyone's good. Their search for their glade was epic in scale, but I was entranced by their romantic tale. Fantasy, yes, but an allegory too, of how even the weakest can sometimes pull through with the help of each other and mutual affection. Lives can be changed to a different direction. A story of hope, of worlds unlike ours, that kept me absorbed for hours and hours. There were other glades out there. I've been given a hint and went off in search of new visions in print. First, Eagle's damn dare, clean cut and heroic, and Digby, his Batman, a Wigan-born stoic. They battled the Mekong, the green William Hague, who commanded the Treens, an inimical plague of Venusians, xenophobic and militant. But our heroes provided a most British irritant in foiling their plans for Earth's subjugation, like Drummond and Biggles, the pride of the nation. Then the wireless on Mondays, round about 7, transported us weekly to a fantasy heaven, and my second page has vanished. Where's it gone? Ah, yes, 2 back pages. Into space was the journey, and terrors eldritch threatened our heroes and life as we know it. The episode ended abruptly. Oh, blow it. 7 long days then of waiting to hear that voice from the moon that filled us with fear. I was still just a boy when the Kraken awoke. The Triffids entwined me. The Chrysalids spoke of events cataclysmic and problems far worse than my pubescent struggles with Sophocles' verse. Temporal seeds and those cuckoos in Midwich and troublesome lichen, nemesis all, which made my ways considered seem rather absurd. Specky and lost in St. Bede's upper third. Avid and wide-eyed with wonder I read John Wyndham's first opus by torchlight in bed. A penguin edition in orange and white, acquired by my dad for his long-distance flight to Joburg. Its title, like Alice's cakes, said, "Read me, the Kraken awakes." Suffice it to say, in the fathomless deep, a Kraken's decidedly better asleep. His cannon consumed, I sat, sad and bereft. No further Wyndham opus is left. Consider this, John, a stern reprimand for failing to honour my teenage demand. An endless supply of fables fantastic. Action was needed. It had to be drastic. We all value most what we find for ourselves. I found my relief on the library's shelves. Mirabile dictu, my literal obsession for J.W.'s vision replaced by a fresh one. Perelandra discovered, to think that I doubted. From that planet so silent, C.S. Lewis is outed. His Venus and Mars, ancient and mystic, harboured beings decidedly antagonistic. Then, onward to Wells. Untapped until then, H.G. was V.G., sci-fi's doyen. The War of the Worlds. Mankind was inferior to Martians, till slain by our humble bacteria. Be seen and not heard, I was told at 14, when daily I yearned to be heard and not seen. The invisible man. What a wonderful notion, with a twist in the tail. A sting in the potion. Then his time machine, it was literally chronic. Time travel I envied. Now ain't that ironic? Quatermass then on the black and white bared, the pit and the creature. A nation was scared. We gathered each week by the flickering screen. Neil's hero is thwarted by the sceptical Breen. Establishment's face, a blithering kernel, exposes us all to fates dire and infernal. We quake as humanity's poised on the brink. Prof Q does his thing, and we're all back in sync. But the writers are best. They open our minds to the joy of the quest, where all things are possible on canvases vast, and future extinction may be solved in the past. Where Goliath still tumble to David's flung stones, and the righteous prevail and take despots' thrones. The fables and legends of times long gone by are what we might now describe as sci-fi. So thank you to Aldis, Verne, Blish and Harrison, Lieber, Selazny, Kornbluth and Ellison, E. Smith, Pohl, Simak and Bryn, Dick, Ballard, Hoyle and Miss Hugh Le Guin. For the laws of robotics that Asimov taught us, and Pratchett's flat world on the back of a tortoise. For Hal Clement's needle, and Arthur C.'s star, and whoever it was that conceived Shangri-La. Heinlein, Van Vogt, Herbert and Anderson, Alan Dean Foster and Stephen K. Donaldson, Vonnegut, May, Sturgeon and Twain brought welcome relief from concerns more mundane. Bradbury showed us all's not what it seems, and Tolkien tapped into our hearts and our dreams. I'm sure that a Titan's been left off this list. I apologise now for the favourites I've missed. Turn your face to the wall, dear. Let the anorak pass. He belongs to a furtive and lowly subclass. Oh, foolish spectator, I don't give a toss. My fictional gain is your ignorant loss. I confess to a splendid affliction, a delectable urge, a luscious addiction, to a literary form that beyond contradiction appeals universally. It's called science fiction. Naming me anorak betrays only your fears of terror less firmer, of celestial spheres and parallel worlds where humanity may not rule the roost, may not hold sway. Over all that appears to be real now to us, reality's a dimensional illusion. Discuss. Actuality comes in all shapes and sizes. Knowledgeable the man who hypothesizes. Thank you.